Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with more WandaVision, you guys. I am really enjoying this show, I have to say. I was charmed, impressed, all of the above by the first two episodes, and I'm really excited to see more. So if you're joining me early today, you already know what that means. That means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I'm sending up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you so much for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So let's talk about the first two episodes of WandaVision because there were a couple things that were pointed out to me after the fact, one of which is the whole sword thing, which went totally over my head. I'm so sorry, but it was pointed out quite a few times, the logo for, I guess, an organization called SWORD, which I really don't know anything about. I think it's supposed to be kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D. I really don't know any specifics, and I think people are holding off on telling me a lot of specifics because of maybe spoiler reasons. But now I know it's a thing. The little sword logo is there for a reason. But other than that, I think they did a fantastic job of just really making the show so it wasn't a parody. I kind of went in expecting it to be like a little bit of a parody of classic TV. You know, like, yes, we did have our references to like the How to Please Your Man magazines and everything. And like, you know, obviously things were a lot different back in the 50s and 60s. And I don't feel in any way that they were specifically, though, trying to kind of make it, this is what it would look like if we made a classic TV series in 2021. It really did feel like a, you know, I could flip on TV Land and see that, you know, except for the parts where like her reality starts to kind of shatter a little bit. And I think those scenes were so well done. I'm sure there's just tons of like little details and Easter eggs in every layer of the episodes themselves, and also like when Wanda starts to kind of break the fourth wall a little bit. And I absolutely loved both times. I feel like each time it gets more intense. Like the whole beekeeper, I don't know what the beekeeper thing is about. I have no idea what that's about. I don't remember there being a beekeeper in any of the Marvel movies, but I'm sure there is some significance to it. And that's one of the things I love about the shows that they're doing on Disney Plus is that if you know the background, you can come in and be like, oh my God, yes, it's that. And if you don't, you know, they're still going to drop those references, but they'll catch you up. So I know they're going to catch me up at some point. But she was just not having it. She was like, nope, and literally rewound the tape. I love how it all happens like it's an actual like show, you know, like literally rewinding it. So I think we can safely say that Wanda's probably a big fan. Like at some point she just binge watched a lot of TV Land. Like she's really into classic TV. What else was I going to point out? I was going to point out something else. Oh, so at the end of the last episode, we had everything kind of come into color. So I guess we're moving on to the 70s now. We saw that there was a presumably a little addition to be made to the WandaVision family. So I'm wondering if, because the biggest sitcom I can think of from the 70s is The Brady Bunch. And since we're moving into the 70s and she's pregnant now, apparently, I wonder if we're going to, like, have more of a Brady Bunch vibe. Like, I wonder if they'll have, like, 10 kids in this one. How many kids were there on the Brady Bunch? There were 6 kids. There were 6 kids on the Brady Bunch, I think. It's been a long time. But, yeah, so we'll see. But, again, I really love the style. It's fun to just sit back and watch it as like an actual classic TV show. It's really charming and it's really fun. And of course, you know, there's always the overtone of like something is wrong. And those parts are so much fun to watch as well because it's like unraveling a little mystery throughout 30, 40-second clips of each episode. So we had the helicopter, we had the beekeeper, and we had a lot of references to the sword. So we also had a voice at the end of the last one saying, like, who's doing this to you? And it occurred to me that perhaps, and I don't know if this is true, but it's just something that occurred to me, so why not? I'm just going to throw it out there. That clearly I think Wanda is the one writing this story. She is making this reality. But what if there was someone who could somehow benefit from the fact that she is stuck in this kind of fantasy? Or, I mean, Wanda's had a tough life. Could be she just was like, you know what? I'm gonna live in TV land. And I'll tell you what, guys, she's had a hard life, and if I could bend reality, I think I'd probably be bending reality over a lot less. I'd be, like, cut off in traffic and be like, all right, guys, we're living in the 60s now in a sitcom. Take that. Take that, no turn signal. Just makes no sense whatsoever. I'm sorry. But I mean, let's cut her some slack. She's been through a lot. It's a good thing I don't have reality bending powers. It really is. It would be a very different world if I had those powers. So maybe that would be a good thing. I'm kidding. Maybe just in some ways. But all right, guys. Let's get started. You've heard enough of my rambling. Let's go. Next episode, WandaVision. Yes! Oh my god! We all wish we could do that with a vacuum, let's face it. Oh! Oh well. Better luck next time. This is gonna be fun. Oh my god, they all they all updated their looks perfectly. What's mean?
Yep.
Huh?
Oh, well,
Thanks!
you're at about 4 months now. Is that right?
No, yeah, shake your head here.
We let the little ladies keep tabs on their growing babies with fruit. Makes it simple for them. At 4 months, the fetus is about as big as a pear. At 5 months,
What size fruit would it be at, say, 12 hours?
pardon, 12 hours.
Well, I think this line of questioning is fruitless.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
So you will keep news of Wanda's just between us because, I don't know, everything's happening so quickly. We'd like to keep the news just in the family for right now, of course.
Mum's the word.
Yeah, that's...
Bermuda, baby.
Oh! Have fun. That's back when, like, confidentiality wasn't as strict of a thing, I guess.
You've gotten bigger.
Have I?
Oh,
Can't tell from this angle.
why don't you get out some fruit and compare?
To be a proud papaya.
He's really perfecting the dad jokes, too. That's good. He's prepping. I love a good dad joke.
I can't wait to meet you, little piggy.
Aww.
Well, I was thinking Tommy. Just a nice classic all-American name.
Hmm.
Then there's Billy, isn't there? And after
Nice.
Shakespeare, all the world's a stage, all the men and women really players.
Well, I guess there's only one solution to this debate.
What's that?
For a girl.
Oh, and I think she can literally do that.
Well,
This is like the classic Hollywood pregnancy breathing.
Yeah, it's not working. I can still
That's...
feel it.
sorry.
Yep. That's all he had. That was... Oh, dear. Oh. She's gonna, like, collapse the whole house with her... Oh, dear. Oh, no. Ooh. I love how they're doing, like, the superhero bracing themselves.
Seems the people of Westview are always on the verge of discovering our secret.
Oh.
So what do you mean?
Huh?
But it's more than that, isn't it?
He's getting a little serious now.
This is a hard dinner.
Yeah.
Outside with her.
Yes.
Something's wrong here.
Uh-oh. No, wait, stop. Back to the...
Yes, I know what you mean. The truth is, we are in uncharted waters. And you know what?
Okay, I thought my computer did something.
Escape to a world all your own.
Oh,
Problems.
that looks nice.
When you want to get away, but you don't want to go anywhere.
Oh. When you want to get away.
So,
Hydra so find the goddess within. I love it.
Darling, do you think it's time to
Call the doctor.
Yeah. I thought he was in Bermuda. I hope they have... I'm sure he has someone on standby or something.
Already left.
Is there a bird in there? Huh.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. You need like, yeah, you need like an emergency coat. Yeah.
I might have a bucket in the kitchen. Okay.
Just don't look at my front too much.
Under the sink.
Uh,
Right in there?
she changed it to a raincoat.
I'm just looking.
Probably for preventative measures. Oh, no, now it's a fur coat. Now it's a fur coat. She's like, ooh, nice. Way to go, me.
I mean, would you look at that? What? Fruit.
Fruit. Just fruit.
He was going crazy yesterday.
She can't sit down. Oh, she brought the stork to life.
Going on. You got all 10 minutes before the big presentation. And Mr. Haddix is
Did she just kill the stork? No, no.
except the worst case of hiccups I ever did.
The stork's just like,
Go, Wanda. He couldn't get out.
look at the stork.
Pitch. So I'm trying.
She's like, away with you, stork. He's like, nuh-uh.
Poor man.
I'm gonna come get some of that fruit.
Filing cabinets and jumping out when he What was that?
Oh, like a. That's my new ice maker built right into the fridge.
Wow. Your ice maker sounds like a bird.
Which brings me to my question. Do y'all still keep those in your spare room? Because I was hoping you would.
That was a very long roundabout way. Just freeze.
Think it is?
Oh, it's
Freeze.
yes, I can explain.
No! The crib!
Oh. Oh dear. Yes, the crib probably should have. Oh, yep, the crib should have been a little tip off about that.
You know you're breathing, right? Wanda, I can hear you.
If one more person asks her about her breathing. Uh-oh. Oh my. Just tell them your house is haunted.
To the party? Yes, you can.
Huh?
You can do this.
Wanda?
Yes, you can. You can do this.
Oh.
It's time to start pushing. You ready? You ready? You ready? Push. Push, Wanda.
Oh. Poor Wanda. I feel like that I can't do this was about a little bit more than the baby. Kudos to her for including like actual pain of childbirth in her fantasy. I would have just skipped that. It's a boy. Just came out with the blanket and all. And no stuff on him. He went with Tommy. Oh, oh my god, they're twins! They're twins!
Baby coming.
Oh, that would be Billy. Didn't they? It almost looked like they had two cribs in the nursery, too.
So hard to escape.
That's why the car broke down. No one can get out. No one can get out of her fantasy. Oh my god. Oh, babies. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
His name was Pedro.
Oh. Oh my god, poor Wanda. That's why they were twins.
He was killed by Ultron, wasn't he?
Ah, Geraldine. Ah,
She's new to town. Brand new.
brand new.
No family. No husband.
There's nothing wrong with her.
Oh, is Geraldine...
No home.
Geraldine's not from around here. Is Geraldine from the group that's trying to help?
I said, Wanda, you're such a strong lady.
Be careful.
One more time for good measure.
No.
No, that's not what you
What did
said.
you say about Pietro?
Pietro.
Who's that?
Hey, I'll
Just
take a
play it
shot.
off. Just play it
I
off.
think you should leave.
Oh, Wanda, don't be like that.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean she has no...
Oh, she has the sword.
That symbol.
That's a good question.
Who are you?
Oh boy. Oh boy. She's from Sword? Wanda? Wanda? Uh-oh. Wanda?
Wanda.
Oh no!
Oh, she left, honey.
Oh, she
Better
left.
rush home.
But she had no home. They just said that. Oh, and she just got blasted back into the real world? Is she gonna be alright? Oh my! I'm guessing this is the facility where we're... Oh! Wake up, Sleepy Jean! Alright, you guys. Oh, dang! Okay, so the first two, I feel like, were very, very, like, they did not break the character of the you know, sitcoms very much at all. In this one, we definitely start to get to see a little bit more of what might actually be going on. So come to think of it, Geraldine did just kind of like pop up in a way that I could definitely see her like being like an agent from outside. I don't know how she got in. I mean, it almost looked like she was like zapped out of a portal or something. And then like a bunch of people came and surrounded her. So I'm guessing those are the people that are trying to reach her, trying to get to her. Wanda, I mean. But I didn't even think of that, the fact that they were twins. That I completely went over my head till she said like, hey, I was a twin. And that's when I guess Geraldine felt like she could kind of sneak in a quick reality check that did not go well. And she started singing, though. When she started singing the lullaby, that was such a both heartbreaking and creepy moment all at the same time. Poor Wanda. And they kind of alluded, I like how on some level she's a little bit aware of what she's doing, because they alluded to the fact that the neighbors were being heavily affected by the fact that she was going through so much in the episode. Like, oh no, their power is gonna go out. They're you know, they're gonna have water everywhere, pipes bursting. And it really is it goes beyond that, that apparently these are like people trapped in her fantasy. I really honestly thought she just made them all up, because I'm like, oh, well, Vision's gone, so like this is just like her imagination, basically. But no, it is much, much more than that. It is, I think she definitely like actually trapped people in her fantasy, and they're trying to get out. And it looks, if I had to guess, I'd say Geraldine was working with Sword, because she had the necklace on and everything, and was sent to go in after Wanda and try and like shake her back. But clearly if upset too much, something bad will happen. Like, could she like destroy the world or something if she was provoked and like vulnerable and had like a bad reaction or something. they must be very, very concerned about that, to send Geraldine in, like, disguised as one of the people, and just trying to, like, somewhat gently kind of shake her out of. As soon as she saw there was a little opening, she started talking about the brother and, like, what really happened to him. I wonder if we'll get any, like, cameos from, like, him or, like, any of the people we've seen in the movies, aside from, like, Wanda and Vision, obviously. Oh my god, you guys. So that one definitely, so far, was the one that most, like, showed us what was going on. Still have a lot of questions, and I'm sure there was just, like, I really want to rewatch the episode, because I'm sure there was just, like, details and Easter eggs everywhere, regarding, like, different things that could be going on. And I'm really trying to, like, assess the symbolism of, like, everything that was going on in the episode. Like I said, you know, she seemed aware on some level that she was doing things that affected her neighbors. And in reality, and this reality, she is doing things to affect them quite a bit. Also just the constant, like, need to fit in and be, like, just an average American and everything is just so, it's always so heartbreaking to me when she mentions something about, like, fitting in or wanting the kid to fit in and everything. There's just something about that is so heartbreaking, and there's so many things that carried over into her fantasy, that, you know, it really goes to show how strongly she must be feeling those things. I absolutely thought that something happened to my computer when I was watching, and he was like, I really think something's wrong here. And then it, like, blipped in the way that, like, cut film does. So we didn't rewind it. It was more like a cut film in this instance. And he was like, well, I know everything's going to be okay, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, okay, there we go. Just going to have a little do-over on that. I mean, it's scary because Wanda clearly is so powerful that they are very, very concerned about what is going to happen if this continues. On the other hand, oh my god, poor Wanda. Like, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't just, like, I would, if I could bend reality. Like I was saying at the beginning of this reaction, I'll be bending reality over a lot less, you guys. So I'm just, like, I'm both a little afraid of what she might be capable of, and also just, like, heartbroken for her. Absolutely heartbroken. Alright, guys, that was a phenomenal episode. Now we're getting to the heart of it, I feel like. And I love that, again, we're still, like, it's still just, like, your average, sitcom, but this one definitely, I feel like they were starting to emphasize a little bit more of the outside story. So are we going to be, like, in the 80s next time? Are we just going to keep going decade by decade, or are we going to stay in the 70s for a bit, or is this the end of the fantasy? Is this going to shake her out of it, or at least start crumbling what she's built? I don't know. I was honestly kind of hoping that we'd get, like, an 80s sitcom. But I don't know, I feel like sitcoms aren't as much of a thing anymore, so if you keep that going for the whole series, eventually you're gonna run out of decades. So I don't know, maybe we'll flip-flop and go back and forth. Maybe this will cause her to regress and go back to the 50s. I don't know. That would be interesting as well, wouldn't it? Alright, guys, I absolutely loved that. I'm going to be dwelling on that. I think it definitely has earned a rewatch. I would love to hear your guys' feedback on it, because, again, I know it's just littered with, like, clues and Easter eggs, and it's just so hard because you want to, like, shut your brain off and enjoy the sitcom, but at the same time, you know there's, like, a million Easter eggs in the background or something. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. I definitely got a lot out of that. That was just really awesome, really sad, really fun, really awesome, all at the same time. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Please be sure to join me next time. We will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.